everyone, it's Jeannie, the Spotted Chick. Welcome to the hen house. Today I'd like to do a little tutorial on sponging. I've had a few questions on this, so I thought you might like to see how it's done. Okay, let's get started. First, we're going to go over the supplies. The first thing you'll need is your sponges. Now I get my sponges from my Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and these sponges come 3 to a pack. Now this 3-pack's going to last you a long time, and you'll see why. I take one of my sponges in the 3-pack and I cut it into 4ths. This is still my first sponge of the whole pack, and as you can see, I've only ever used just the 1/4, and I've been using this 1 little quarter for well over a year, so this pack's going to last a while. I take one side of the sponge and I pretty much keep it consistent with whatever color, browns and blues and reds, and I've really never had any problem with color transfer as long as you kind of stay within the same color field as you're sponging. Okay, so there's your sponge. Now for the ink. The ink I use is Colorbox Fluid Chalk Ink. This happens to be Peach Pastel. Now I actually bought all of my, they call these cat's eyes too. I bought all of my cat's eyes individually, but I have seen them actually sold in stacks, like stacks of 6, like different color coordinated stacks. So I guess that's another way you could purchase them, but I bought mine individually. Okay, so then you have your sponge, your ink, and then of course the image. This is Nurse Margaret. Isn't she cute? A bugaboo stamp. Okay, so I've got my my Nurse Margaret all colored with my Copics. I've cut her out with my Nestability die. This happens to be the deckled rectangular Nesty, and I've cut her out and I've embossed her. Now leaving the die in place after I'm finished, now we're ready to do the sponging technique. So we're going to lay her down. I'm going to open up my ink. Now what I do is I typically bunch up my sponge sort of like this, okay, and then all I do is tap, 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 and then tap off. Okay, so then if you, what's really great about these little cat's eye pads is that the drier they get, the older they get, actually the easier they are to work with for this technique. So I can actually go straight from the pad right to the image, and all I do is just tap away. Now if you had a brand new cat's eye, well then you would probably tap off like this to get the majority of the ink off and then go to your image. That way you don't end up putting a big blob of ink right on your image. But because this pad is pretty much quite old, I can go straight from the ink pad right to the image. And as you can see, it goes pretty quickly, and it gives a really nice shaded look, very soft. The chalk ink gives a very soft, I don't know, kind of like a soft glow. I really like the look that it gives. But pretty much all I do is just tap around the edges. See if I can hurry up and get this done without boring you. I will say that if you have any kind of like liquid applique that you're going to do on your product or on your image, you make sure you do that after you get done with this. Because if you were to hit the liquid applique with the chalk ink, you could never get it back off and it wouldn't be pretty white anymore. So you want to make sure you do anything like that afterwards, so you don't have to be so careful. Okay, so I just keep going around the image. Doesn't take too awful long. Sometimes I can even actually use like maybe 2 different colors. Like maybe if I wanted to use this lighter peach color, I could actually go back around the edges just and tap just the edge with maybe some little bit darker brown, and it would even give it more of a you know, like a transitional kind of a color. It would look really good that way too. Usually I only use 1 color though. Okay. Almost done. Sometimes I do a little bit darker on the corners just because I think it gives kind of a nicer look. And you know, if you don't get it done perfectly, it's not a big deal. You can always put your die back in place after you've taken it off, and then you can go back around it again. As long as you have a die handy, you can go back and add more color. But that's I think this looks pretty good. Okay, So we'll put our sponge away, close our ink pad back up. Are you guys ready? Oh, this is the best part. Ta-da! Isn't she cute? I just love it. I love how the pretty white edge just stands out and it looks like it's been spray painted or something. I really like this look. Now, one other little thing I wanted to show you or to mention, well, what would happen if maybe you didn't have a nestability? Another thing I have done is, let's say I had a rectangular image with straight edges. I've actually taken post-it notes and lined post-it notes right along the edge of all four edges and done the exact same thing. And when you pull the post-it notes off, you have the exact same effect. So a post-it note is also another idea, you know, for straight edges. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed my little tutorial today. Glad to have you in the hen house, and until next time,